For most people, this next step can be the most exciting and intimidating part of the process. We're finally going to get our new tree into the ground. I have certified arborist Michael Alkema here to help us through every step of the way. What time of year is the best time to plant a tree?
The best time of year is early spring or mid to late fall. The reason for this is that the tree is still dormant.
Okay.
And it's easier for it to establish to its new environment.
All right, so when it's dormant and establishing itself, it's probably not as stressed out.
No.
Can trees get stressed?
Very easily, especially when they're still in a pot. They don't have the root system that they normally would have in the environment.
Right, right. So I'm going to be bringing home my tree in a pot, and I've brought it home. How soon should I plant it?
The best time would be right away.
Okay, let's just say I'm too busy, I can't get around to it.
Then it's okay for a week or two at most, as long as you continually water it.
And what tools would I need for planting?
You'll need a shovel or two if you have help from a friend. Gloves are good to protect your hands. A tarp is good to hold in the soil. Mulch is an excellent finishing touch as it holds in the water and protects the soil. Topsoil may be needed, or compost if you live in an area where there's poor soils. And it's imperative to water your tree right after you plant it.
I'm ready to get started. What do I do?
You want to lay down your tarp near where you plan to dig the hole. Place your tree while it is still in the pot in the location you would like to plant. Start digging the outline for your hole. It should be 2 to 3 times the width of the pot. Move the tree aside and dig up the sod. Lie the sod on the corners of the tarp to hold it down. Start digging up the soil. You want to dig in on a slant so you create more of a bowl shape. Put the soil on the tarp separate from the sod. You want your hole to be as deep as the pot. When you think you are close to the right depth, place the pot into the hole. Your tree should be planted at exactly the same depth as it is in the pot. Use a shovel to determine if you need to dig more or if you need to put some soil back in the hole. Planting too deep will suffocate the roots and the base of the trunk, while planting too shallow will cause the soil to erode and dry out the roots. When the hole is ready, you need to unglaze the sides. When you dig, the back of the shovel compacts the soil particles together, which can create a shiny, hard surface, especially if you have clay soil. This surface can be difficult for roots to grow through, so we want to roughen up the side of the hole. Now we are ready to remove the tree from the pot. Take the tree out just before you are ready to plant, because the exposed roots will dry out really quickly. Generally, you never handle the tree by its stem, but this is the one exception. Have someone hold the pot while you gently pull the tree out. You want to hold the trunk right at the base of the stem, where it meets the soil. While the tree was potted, some of the roots have started to grow just along the inside of the pot. To encourage the roots to grow outwards, we want to rough them up a bit to stop the circling trend. Take your gloved hand and brush the roots along the sides and bottom. Drink. Before you start to fill up the hole, you want to make sure that the tree is straight. While no tree will ever be perfect, you want to focus on the middle section of the stem and make sure that that part is straight as you can get it. Assess the tree from at least 2 different angles. Now we are ready to backfill our soil. It is best to fill the hole with the same soil that you dug out, since that is the soil that the roots will be growing into throughout your yard. However, if you have very dense clay, you will want to help your tree along by mixing in up to 50% topsoil with the clay to use as backfill. Be sure to break down any soil clumps with your shovel before filling it in. When you are filling in the soil, there will be extra air pockets. To get rid of these, you will want to lightly tamp on the soil with your foot. We don't recommend adding any fertilizers to the tree, and you should avoid fertilizing your lawn anywhere near the tree within the first couple of years after planting. However, if you have poor soil, particularly that found in new developments, you should spread a thin layer of organic compost on the top of the soil after you have completed your backfill. Create a tree well, which will help keep water in your new tree's root zone. You will want to shake out the sod and lay it upside down along the edge of the filled-in hole. Dump the remaining soil around the tree, but be sure not to pile any soil around the base of the stem. The next step is to spread mulch around the base of the tree. The further out you are willing to spread it, the better it is for the tree. Finally, you will need to give your newly planted tree a good long soak with your hose on a slow trickle for about 15 minutes. When we had the tree out of the pot, the roots were starting to dry out, so we need to give them a good drink.
For more proper watering and care techniques, we'll be talking about that in the next chapter. So stick with us. Mike, for our last final talk about the new tree, are we going to be staking this tree?
Most trees don't need to be staked, so we're not going to stake this tree.
We're not going to stake this tree, but in the next lesson, if you click to the next video, we will learn as to when a tree should be staked and how to properly do it so that the tree can grow to be healthy. Join us and click for the next lesson.